Bhakti Vaibhav class. So, from last couple of weeks, we have been discussing from chapter 30 onwards, 30, 31, 32. In three chapters, Lord Kapila was describing the life of the living entity in three modes. Life of the living entity in the mode of ignorance in chapter 30. Life of the living entity in the mode of passion, chapter 31. Life of the living entity in the mode of goodness, chapter 32. So primarily in the mode of ignorance and the mode of passion, they are completely selfishly interested. They're only interested in their own instant gratification and at most their family members. So they try to find out shortcuts for that and they try to do sinful activity. They try to compete with others and so many things are there. And the results of the such kind of lifestyle also we saw. They eventually, because they perform so many sinful activities, they go to hell, they take birth in different species, and finally, eventually, by little bit progress, they come to human species. And in that human species, also their mood will be start increasing from mode of ignorance to mode of passion to mode of goodness. As soon as the people come close to mode of goodness, they start developing respect for Shastra, respect for the teachings of Shastra. Then they understand that, oh yes, see, if we want to enjoy, we can enjoy even for by following Shastra also. So we don't have to do sinful activities. And such kind of people who want to enjoy by following Shastra are called as Sakama Karmis. And they, by performing Vedic rituals, they go to either Swargaloka or Pitruloka, or they tend to get birth in aristocratic family where they have a lot of wealth and all these things. So they are happy as a result of that. They have a high standard of life. But those people who go little deeper into the scriptures, and they say that better than Sakama karma is Nishkama karma. Yeah, how long we only working for our selfish enjoyment? Let us also do some welfare activities, social welfare activities. So they work hard and they give results for the welfare of the society. They are called as Nishkama karmis. So they say that yeah, doing something for others will give me a kind of happiness. I want to do that. That is little better than Sakama karmis. But much better than these Nishkama karmis are Nishkama karma yogis. Who are they? They want to perform every activity that they are doing not only for their, not just for their happiness, not just for the happiness of society, but for attaining moksha. They understand that the purpose of human life as per the Shastra is to attain moksha. And moksha in general is attained by practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga as a householder. When a householder performs all the dharmic rituals without committing any sinful activities, as a result, one is promoted to heavenly planets to enjoy the results. But this person says that no, I don't want to enjoy the results, I don't want to go to Swarga. Instead, I want to get the qualification to enter into Vanaprasthar Sannyasa Ashram, wherein I can practice Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, as a result of which I will attain moksha or mukti. So as a grihastha, they sincerely follow Nishkama Karma Yoga without having any interest in enjoying the results, without having any eagerness to go to Pitraloka or Swargaloka or taking birth in aristocratic family. Instead, they want to come close their business in this material world and go to transcendental abode, moksha, want to attain Sahajya Mukti. Yes, after completing all the household responsibilities at a certain point of time, with correct amount of purification, with correct amount of renunciation, they say, enough is enough. Now I am going to forest. I want to lead a austere life. As a result of that, I will develop 100% attachment from this material world. Then I will become ready to go to transcendence. So they enter into Vanaprastha order, practice lot of austerities, then they take up sannyasa, again continue to practice lot of austerities, and then study the scriptures, try to understand who they are, who the Paramatma, who the Brahman, what is the relationship between Atma and Paramatma, Atma and Brahman, and eventually They come to the pinnacle of mode of Sattva-guna. They come to the pinnacle of Jnana Yoga, that is Brahmabhuta platform. They come to the pinnacle of Ashtanga Yoga, that is Samadhi. Having come to Brahmabhuta platform, having come to Samadhi, having come to the topmost point of Sattva-guna, then there is nothing else to achieve in this material world. Then giving up Sattva-guna, and then they enter into Nirguna, to the Sattva platform. And giving up Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, they only practice Bhakti Yoga. Whatever Bhakti Yoga they also practicing from the very beginning. And while Grihastha they were practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, they give that up, and then they they're taking up Jnana Yoga. Then they also practice Ashtanga Yoga. They also give that up after coming to Samadhi. Now they only have left with Bhakti Yoga. That Bhakti Yoga will give them the realization of Brahman or Paramatma or Bhagavan according to their inclination. Then they attain moksha. So this is what happens for a person who is in the mode of goodness. Only a goodness person having respect, having faith in Shastra, tries to follow the injunctions of Shastra. Other people, the people in the mode of ignorance, outrightly reject Shastra. The people in the mode of passion, they show some respect. They also show that they are practicing Shastra, but they don't. They want to tweak the instructions of Shastra according to their own inclination and try to show off to others that they are also practicing Shastra. Something like that. So this is how the people in the mode of passion act as if they are Dharma Dvajis. They are the followers of Dharma and all. But not. Just even to follow Shastra, one need to be in, even to listen to Shastra, one need to be in goodness. Then what to speak of following with faith? So that's how we can see the distinction between the people in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. And then in the conclusion, Lord says that, so my dear mother, whatever it is, but by practicing bhakti, one can get everything. Whatever can be attained by other processes, karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, can also be attained by practicing bhakti yoga alone. So, yat karmabir, yat tapasa, jnana, vairaga, yoschayat. So all those things can be attained by practicing bhakti, whatever can be attained by practicing other things, other sadhanas. So therefore practice bhakti. So like that 22-27 Lord Kapila indicated bhakti can avoid everything. Then other Devahuti kind of hinted that, so my dear Lord, I have a desire to perform bhakti. I have heard about bhakti and understood it, how to do bhakti. Curious to know about jnana and ashtanga yoga. I have heard about jnana yoga and ashtanga yoga and understood them. But in jnana, have not understood completely about the non-dual knowledge, Ekatma Vada. Therefore, explain that briefly. Thus, Lord Kapila speaks about jnana approved by the followers of the theory of Vivartavadis. There is one sect of jnanis who are known as Vivartavadis. Otherwise, the jnana yogis are the Parinamavadis. So, the Vivartavadis, what they say? There is only one Brahman. Rest all is illusion. Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya. So, what is the proper understanding of this Vivartavada philosophy? Though they may say Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, but what is the proper understanding? They say that there is only one Brahman and rest all that we existing, the world existing, and things around us existing, these are all Mithya. They don't have any reality to their existence. So, because of error, because of mistaken identity, we are thinking that I am Pavaneshwara Das and you are so and so, so and so, so and so, and so. All of us identifying ourselves with so and so name and so form and so place, etc., etc. These are all like a dream. They, as soon as you come out of the dream, they vanish away. Like that they say. But the proper understanding of Ekatma Vada is that no, not like that. Everything is not illusory. Everything is not this thing. What is illusory is there are two objects, but you don't have complete knowledge of two objects. There is one object is shell, other object is silver. So one may say that. So silver is whitish, shining brightly. It is hard. So when you go to ocean, you see a shell, it is looking whitish, it is hard, it is shining. So somebody may say that, yeah, this is silver, this is silver. So that kind of understanding is wrong. That is because of mistake. As a result of that, we have so many designations. In reality, silver is silver, shell is shell. Shell cannot be silver, silver cannot be shell. But as the result of that, there is a lot of variety, there is a lot of different types of knowledge. We say this is table, this is chair, this is book, this is bottle, this is mirror, this is cloth, this is tubelight, this is box, this is laptop, this is mobile, like that. So much variety in this world, everything is true. But there is so much variegated knowledge because of variegated matter. But apparently there is variegatedness in the appearance of the matter, but the source of matter is only one Lord. The source of everything that we are seeing in front of our eyes, that we are experiencing day in, day out, is one Lord. That one Lord is manifesting in the form of the entire universe with so much differentiation, so much distinction. That seeing that one Lord in everything is called as Ekatmavada. Everything is a manifestation of Supreme Lord's energy. Because the energy belongs to the Lord, everything is Lord. In that way, whatever we see in front of our eyes, the day we are able to see the Lord, Tavara Jangama Deki Na Deki Taramurti, Sarvatra Prasar Hoibe, Ishta Deva Spurti. When we are able to see our Lord everywhere in everything, whatever we see, then we are also Ekatmavadis. The Lord alone is seen everywhere, in whichever direction you see, whichever direction you look up, look after. We only get to see the Lord. That is the proper understanding of Ekatmavada. Instead of superficially seeing the externals, see the heart of everything, see the source of everything. That is only the one Lord. That is the real Ekatmavada. Like that. So this is how the Ekatmavada philosophy Lord Kapila has indicated, and he continues further in the next two verses also. Because of distinctions of the senses, when they are turned toward the Lord, one can appreciate the sweet sound of Lord Krishna's flute and the beauty of his form. Currently, because we have five senses, we are experiencing five tanmatras. The entire world is generally made up of five tanmatras. Every day, we get to hear the voice of the people, the nice music of the musical instruments, nice singing of different people and different birds and all these things. And we are also tasting food, like drinking liquids, and we are also experiencing the coolness, heatness because of the temperature variation, all these things. And we are also seeing the beautiful things, beautiful sceneries in front of our eyes, and so many things. Like the five senses have five different experiences because of variety. The Vivartavadi Jnanis, the problem is when they say the variety in the material world is illusion, they also say variety in the spiritual world is also illusion. That is a big problem. They not only negate the variety in the material world, they negate the variety in the spiritual world. But the true Vivartavada, the Vaishnava Vivartavada says that the variety is there. But the variety in the material world is because of the distinction in the knowledge. But the variety in the spiritual world is eternal. The variety in the material world is temporary. It is real but temporary. It only exists for some time only. It will not exist for eternally. But the variety in the spiritual world exists eternally. So try to become attracted to the eternal variety. What is the eternal variety? The flute sound of Lord Krishna, the beautiful form of Lord Krishna. So like that. Thus, knowledge of distinctions in spiritual objects is not rejected. The devotees speak in the above way in relation to the Brahman feature of the Supreme Lord. The previous verse explained that Brahman appears as various objects. Everything in the material world falls in the category of these objects, Artha Rupa, that is shown in the next verse. So, what kind of Artha Rupa that is there in the material world? When the Supreme Lord is creating this material world and everything is given to us as the object of sense gratification. So, what kind of objects are given to us for our enjoyment? That is explained in the next verse. So, we'll continue from text number 29 onwards today. Hare Krishna. Somebody repeat after me. Yata mahanaham rupas
यथा
Yata
महान
Maharupas
trivrut panchavidha swarat
तीव्रत
Tibrit
पंचपदाक्षरात्
Panchavidasarat
ekadasha vidhastasya
Ekadasa
एकादश
Vidastasya
vapur andam jagadyatah.
Vapurannam Jagat Yatha. Translation. From the total energy, the Mahatattva, I have manifested the false ego, the three modes of material nature, the five material elements, the individual consciousness, the 11 senses, and the material body. Similarly, the entire universe has come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
From Mahatattva, Ahankara of three gunas, the five elements and sense objects, the 11 senses, the totality of jivas, the individual jivas, the whole universe, and the body of the jivas, the world of matter appears. What this universe is made up of? It is made up of Mahatattva, Ahankara, Pancha Mahabhutas, Pancha Tanmatras, and 11 Indriyas, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, and mind. When you combine all these things, there is the entire universe. When you combine all these things, there is a material body of the living entity. As a result of that, we have universe with 14 planetary systems, we have all the individual jivas, we have all the collective jivas, and the entire world is in front of us. The entire world, the people around us, the objects around us, the planetary systems, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Svargaloka, and all, they're all meant for Jiva's enjoyment. Yes or no? The world is meant for Jiva's enjoyment. Other people are meant for Jiva's enjoyment. And the Loka, the abodes are meant for Jiva's enjoyment. The village we are born, the country we are living in, the Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Svargaloka, one can go there without any problem. You practice the sadhana and go there and enjoy. They're all meant for Jiva's enjoyment. The entire world is meant for Jiva's enjoyment, which is made up of 24 material elements. The Chitta or Mahatattva, the Hankara composed of the three gunas and the five elements, the five gross elements, earth, water, fire, ether, the five sense objects, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, and the 11 senses, five Jnanendriyas, five Karmendriyas, and mind. The totality of Jivas and the individual Jivas, the body of the pure Jiva, and the universe are the components of from which the material universe appears. When Mahatattva and other elements become the objects of intelligence, they become various objects or Artharupa. With the help of the intelligence and mind, we try to enjoy the entire world made up of 24 elements. Like that. So then, Lord Kapila is telling next, the qualification for practicing jnana. Who can practice this jnana? Etadvai shraddhaya bhaktya
एतद्वै श्रद्धया
एतद्वै श्रद्धया भक्त्या
योगाभ्यासेन नित्यसा
योगाभ्यासेन नित्यशः
समाहितात्मनिस्सङ्गो
समाहितात्मनिस्सङ्गो
विरक्त्या परिपश्यति.
विरक्त्या परिपश्यति. Translation. This perfect knowledge can be achieved by a person who is already engaged in devotion service with faith, steadiness, and full detachment, and who is always absorbed in thought of the Supreme. He is aloof from material association.
By faith, by bhakti, by the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, and by detachment, Shraddha, Bhakti, Ashtanga Yoga, Virakti, when you practice all these things with constantly controlled mind. How to practice? Constantly practice with controlled mind. Hmm? Giving up material association, a person sees this Brahman, Etad Paripashati. How and when a Jnana practitioner see the Brahman? So when one practices Bhakti, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga with complete faith, then eventually they see the Brahman. Etad refers to Brahman, the form of knowledge. Now Lord Kapila summarizes the topic of Jnana to make it easier to understand. So next verse. इत्येतत् कथितं गुर्वी
इति एतत् कथितं गुर्वी
ज्ञानं तद् ब्रह्मदर्शनम्
ज्ञानं तत् ब्रह्मदर्शनं
येनानुबुध्ये बुध्यते तत्त्वम्
येनानुबुध्यते तत्त्वं
प्रकृते पुरुषस्य च
प्रकृते पुरुषस्य च. Translation. My dear respectful mother, I have already described the path of understanding the absolute truth, by which one can come to understand the real truth of matter and spirit and their relationship. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this is the conclusive verse of the Jnana section. That Jnana, Ekatmavada Jnana, proper understanding of Ekatmavada. Oh mother, in this way, I have explained Jnana, realization of Brahman, by which one understands the truth concerning Prakriti and Purusha. By distinguishing what is Prakriti, who is Purusha, one understands who is Brahman. So that's what the process. This is basically the analytical study of the 24 elements and the Prakriti, Purusha, Kala, and Ishvara. The 28 elements which we studied in the 26th chapter, that is called the traditional Ekatmavada Jnana. So in that way, one understands Ishvara, Jiva, and Prakriti. Like that. Now, various paths to achieve God, 32 to 36. Fine. We were hearing about Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, little bit Karma Yoga also in between today in this chapter 32. So this is complete or something else more is also there? Is there any other way to achieve the Lord? So from that point of view, Lord Kapila is speaking. Jnana Yogascha Manishto
ज्ञानयोगश्च मन्निष्ठो
Nairgunyo Bhakti Lakshanaha
नैर्गुण्यो भक्तिलक्षणः
Dvayorapi Eka Evarto
द्वयोरपि एक एवार्तो
Bhagavad Shabda Lakshanaha.
भगवत् शब्दलक्षणः. Translation. Philosophical research culminates in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After achieving this understanding, when one becomes free from the material modes of nature, he attains the stage of devotional service. Either by devotional service directly or by the philosophical research, one has to find the same destination, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
The Jnana Yoga Artha, the goal of Jnana, fixed on my expansion as Brahman, beyond the gunas, and the goal of Bhakti are actually only one goal, which is known by the word Bhagavan. The Nishkama Karma Yogis, Jnana Yogis, and Ashtanga Yogis, all these three are actually one process only. According to the time they need to practice. When they are Grahastha, they need to practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. Eventually, they have to practice Jnana Yoga. Eventually, they have to practice Ashtanga Yoga. They are one after the other. For this cumulative process aiming at attaining Brahman, Brahma Sahaja. And others, people like us who are practicing bhakti. Sometimes we practice bhakti as the grahasthas living at home. Such kind of devotees are called Karmamishra Bhaktas. Then eventually one may practice bhakti by becoming renounced order, Vanaprastha Sannyasi. They are called as Jnana Mishra Bhaktas. Eventually, one will practice Ananya Bhakti. They are called Ananya Bhaktas. But in any case, the devotees want to attain Bhagavan in Vaikunta. The Nishkama Karma Yogis, Jnana Yogis, Ashtanga Yogis want to attain Brahman in Brahma Jyoti. But we may say, my goal is Brahma Jyoti, and devotees may say, my goal is Bhagavan. But from his point of view, both are same. There is no distinction between Brahman and Bhagavan. Both are one person or one person only. That one person is only called by somebody as Brahman, somebody else calling him as Bhagavan. He is the same Lord, but different people approaching him in a different way, and they are calling him in different names. That is the difference. Because of the necessity of jnana in the practice of yoga, in the discussion only two processes, jnana and bhakti, are discussed. Because jnana by default, in order to practice jnana, before that one need to practice Nishkama Yoga, Karma Yoga. In order to attain liberation, the jnana yogis also practice. I have to practice afterwards the Ashtanga Yoga, Chakra Yoga. By that they have to give up the body. So Nishkama Karma Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga are also included within the Jnana Yoga. All three put together is one process, and Bhakti Yoga is other process. So the destiny of this combined Jnana Yoga is Sahyajya Mukti. The destiny of Bhaktas is Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya and Sarupya. That kind of Mukti. So it's like that. So because of the necessity of Jnana in the practice of yoga, in discussion only two processes, Jnana and Bhakti, are discussed. Though there are two different results, attaining Brahman and attaining the Supreme Lord Bhagavan, according to previous statements, there is actually only one ultimate result, attainment of the Lord. Since the Lord includes Brahman, the Supreme Lord Bhagavan also includes Brahman within him. Jnana is called Manishta, fixed in me, because Brahman is contained in Bhagavan. Jnana is without gunas, Nairgunya. The goal of Jnana and Bhakti is one. What is it? The goal is he who is known by the word Bhagavan. So it's Bhagavan himself contains Paramatma and Brahman. So even the Jnani say I want Brahman, actually they are wanting one aspect of Bhagavan. So in that way, both are trying to go to Bhagavan only. Same thing we can hear from Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita, there are more verses, talks about both the processes. So here is a couple of verses from 12th chapter. There is one more verse from the 14th chapter. So both will tell the interrelation between the Bhagavan and Brahman. Etvaksharamanirdeshyam akvyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha kotastam achalam dhruvam sanniyamyendriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta ite rata. Here Lord is telling that te prapnuvanti mameva. Even the Jnana yogis, Ashtanga yogis with sense control, mind control, and practicing so many different sadhanas, ultimately they attain me only. But who is that me? That aspect of me who has the qualities as Anirdeshyam, no name, Avyaktam, no form, Sarvatragam, all pervading, Achintyam, inconceivable, Kutastam, unchanging, Achalam Dhruvam, eternal, in one form. And what kind of process they follow? Sanniyamyendriya gramam, completely subduing their senses and mind, and looking all things equally, sarvatra samabuddhaya, vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi astini sunichaiva supakecha pandita samadarshina, and intent on the welfare of all, sarva bhuta iterata. That means they don't want to harm anybody. They want to attain liberation, they also help others to attain liberation. They live a life of selflessness. Then only they can attain liberation. Selfish people they never attain. But what they are getting? Attain me alone. Prapnumanti maviva, in the form of impersonal Brahman. What kind of me they'll attain? Aksharam. Etu Aksharam. They get Aksharam. Aksharam means Brahman aspect of mind. That is their destiny. And this is the process. These are the attributes of the Aksharam. Anadeshyam, Avyaktam, and Sarvatragam, Achintyam, Kutastam, etc., etc., etc. And same thing now. What is the relationship between the Aksharam and Mam? Mam is Bhagavan, Aksharam is Brahman. इन दोनों के बीच में संबंध क्या है? ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठा हम अमृतस्य व्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य हि धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च. I am the basis of Brahman. Here I am means Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the basis of impersonal Brahman. Bhagavan is the basis of the indestructible liberation. Is the basis for Sahajya Mukti. The basis he is the basis of eternal method of bhakti. He is also basis of Sanatana Dharma, Shashwata Dharma, that is Bhakti Yoga, and is the basis of bliss of the unalloyed devotee. Sukasya Aikantikasya. Whatever happiness the Aikanta Bhaktas are experiencing, he is the source of that Ananda. So like that, these are different ways in which we can understand how Brahman and Bhagavan are one only. Brahman is one aspect of Bhagavan. Both merging in Brahman and attaining Prema in Vaikuntha can be accomplished only by worshipping Bhagavan. In essence, everyone is worshipping Bhagavan only. But some is worshipping some aspect of Bhagavan, other people are worshipping other aspect of Bhagavan. So, like that. So, in that way, everyone is worshipping the same Lord. Hare Krishna, all of you are able to follow how it is same?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any questions till now?
No problem.
Okay. Now, Lord Kapila further continues. He gives an example. How to understand it is only one. ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? अभी ये ब्रह्मन के भगवान के बीच में बहुत डिफरेंस है. Brahman has no name, but Bhagavan has unlimited names. Okay? Brahman has no form, Bhagavan has unlimited forms. अभी एक दिन आप बोलते हैं मत्स्यावतार, एक दिन कूर्मा, एक दिन वराहा, एक दिन हाइग्रीवा, हाँ, एक दिन वराहा, एक दिन कूर्मा, एक दिन नरसिम्हा, एक दिन वामना, एक दिन रामा, परशुरामा, बुद्धा, कल्की, कृष्णा, रामा, this, that, there is no end to the list. इतना फॉर्म्स, इतना नेम, तो नेम्स को तो अभी फॉर्म्स एटलीस्ट वी कैन से सम लिमिट इज देयर, बट नेम्स इज नॉट लिमिट ओनली बिकॉज एवरी फॉर्म हैज 108 नेम्स. अष्टोत्तर नामावली एंड विष्णु सहस्त्र नाम, विष्णु हैज 1000 नेम्स. अभी नेम का तो लिमिट है ही नहीं, एटलीस्ट फॉर्म का लिमिट है, सोच सकते हैं तो. एंड देन व्हाट टू स्पीक ऑफ अदर थिंग्स. अभी दोनों के आसमान का जमीन का तेड़ा है, उतना डिफरेंस है. हाउ कैन दे बोथ विल बी सेम? आप कैसे ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हो बोथ आर सेम? Anybody can question. But Lord Kapila is going to give one simple example in the next verse. Let us see whether that example will help us understand and accept both are same or not. The Lord is not only realized by Jnana and Bhakti, because he has infinite powers. The Lord is realized by all sadhanas. An example is given. So somebody may say that in the previous verse Lord Kapila told there is Jnana, there is Bhakti. These are the only two paths to attain the Lord. No, not like that. Because the Lord is unlimited, there could be few more processes by which one can attain the Lord. If Lord is unlimited, there should be unlimited paths to attain Him also. Why not? Why there is restriction that though Lord is unlimited, there is only one path to Lord? Not like that. If somebody says one path to the Lord, that means they have not understood Tattva properly. So let us see what it is. Yatendriya prutagdvare
यतेन्द्रियै पृथग्द्वारै
arto bahuguna ashrayaha
अर्थो बहुगुणाश्रयः
eko naneyate tadvad
एको नानेयते तद्वत्
Bhagavan Shastravartmabhi.
भगवान् शास्त्रवर्त्मभिः. A single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different.
Just as one object, the substrate of many qualities, is perceived by the various senses in various ways. So Bhagavan is perceived variously by the various scriptural practices. There is only one object. It might have various qualities. So different people might see different qualities and they describe the object with that quality alone. They are not wrong, but they are not complete. Whatever they are saying, that is correct. But that doesn't mean that if they start saying that this is it, this object only has this much, that is wrong. So that is understood from this example. One substance like milk is taken example. The reservoir of many qualities like form and taste is perceived in various ways by various senses operating on different paths. Prutak Dwara. By the eye, milk is perceived to be white. When we look at the milk, we say that the milk is white. And by the tongue, it is perceived as sweet. When we taste, we say that it is sweet. By touch, we say it is cold. By nose, it is perceived as fragrant. By ear, it is defined as milk. When we hear people call it as milk, 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 this is milk, this is milk. We understand milk means this product. So now, one by one, each perceivable quality is perceived by its particular sense and not by other sense. The eyes can only see the color of the milk. They cannot taste the taste of the milk. They cannot smell the smell of the milk. The eyes cannot hear the name of the milk. Okay, that is their limitation. The senses have their own limitation to perceive the object only in one particular way. They can't perceive the object in a different way. This is their limitation. The eyes can only see, they can't taste, they can't hear, they can't touch, and they can't smell. The nose can smell, but they can't see, they can't taste, they can't hear. So every sense has limitation in regards to the activity of other senses. Similarly, though people may say so many sadhanas, yes, every sadhana can take us to the Lord, but not completely. So some aspects of the Lord will be revealed by one sadhana. If one does this lot of tapasya, one kind of understanding of the Lord will come. If one does a lot of karma, one kind of understanding of Lord will come. If one does a lot of jnana, one kind of understanding of Lord will come. If one does yoga, one kind of understanding of Lord will come. But what is the way to understand the Lord completely? Is there any way to understand the Lord completely? By one way, you can experience all the five qualities of the milk, which are experienced by five senses differently. There should be somewhere, na? Some way should be there to understand him completely, to understand the milk completely. What is that? It is realized as the possessor of certain quality by that particular sense and not as milk itself completely. But how to understand it completely? But it is perceived by the king of the senses, the mind, as something possessing all the qualities. This substance is giving pleasure, satisfaction. It is whitish, sweet, cool, fragrant, and it is called as milk. This complete understanding will be attained by mind, who is called as Indriya Raja. Mind is called as Indriya Raja. Similarly, by bhakti, we can understand the Lord completely. That's why bhakti is called as Raja Vidya. There are so many other vidyas. Every vidya will teach us one aspect of the Lord. That is their limitation. They cannot teach us the Lord every completely. There is Karma Yoga, there is Jnana Yoga, there is Ashtanga Yoga, there is Kriya Yoga, there is Vairagya, there is Tapasya, there is pious activity, there is this, that, all these things are there. Every sadhana, every kind of vidya will teach us a different aspect of the Lord. But only bhakti will teach us the combination of all aspects of the Bhagavan. Bhakti is like the mind. It's like that. Similarly, one portion of the Lord is pursued by karma, other portion is pursued by jnana, and other portions are pursued by other scriptural processes, shastra vartmabi. As the Lord who gives Swarga, the karmis understand that Lord is giver of Swarga. The jnanis and Ashtanga yogis understand that understand the Lord as Brahman who gives liberation. Since the Lord is also the form of Swarga and liberation. So different people see the Lord differently and they consider the Lord to be giver of their respective destination. But by bhakti, the chief sadhana, Bhagavan, the object of prema, who includes all other forms and who gives all results, is realized. It is by bhakti one can realize the Supreme Lord completely. The different aspects of the Supreme Lord. By bhakti, we can understand Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and all Swarga, Apavarga, and also Borloka, all the everything that is there in the universe, we can understand by the Lord. Yasmin Vijnata Sarvam Evam Vijnatum Bhavati. It's like that. Same thing is also explained by Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami in Laghu Bhavatamrita. First part, chapter 5, text number 201 to 205. What is saying? As the tongue alone and no other sense can perceive the sweet taste, and the eye or any other sense can perceive its specific sense object. So the different types of worship, depending on the external senses, perceive limited aspect of the Lord. And bhakti, depending on the mind, perceives all qualities in the Lord. Thus, the best of scriptures explains the superiority of Lord Krishna over his Brahman aspect because of his full manifestation of qualities like Sukshmavara. So, by different processes, we understand and we realize the different aspects of the Supreme Lord. But only by bhakti we can understand and realize all the aspects of the Supreme Lord. That's why other sadhanas are compared to different senses. Bhakti is compared to the mind, Indriya Raja, who has control over all other senses. So like that. Is this example clear? Even if somebody asks, why you people are always talking about bhakti, bhakti, bhakti? This example we can use. Yes. Why? Because other sadhanas are like different senses by which we can understand one aspect of the Lord. But bhakti is like the mind by which we can understand all aspects of the Supreme Lord. This is conclusive and complete. Other sadhanas are not conclusive and complete. Like that. Any questions? So
No
now in the
problem.
next three verses, what are the different processes that are being followed by the people in general all around? Different people follow different sadhanas, different activities they perform throughout their life. So what are they? A list is summarized here. क्रियया कृतुभिर्दाने
क्रिया कर्तु भेदाने
तपस्वाध्यायमर्शनै
तपः स्वाध्याय मर्शने
आत्मेन्द्रियजेनापि
आत्मेन्द्रिय जनि जयेनापि
संन्यासेन च कर्मणाम्
संन्यासेन च कर्मणाम्
योगेन विविधांगेन
योगेन विविधांगेन
भक्तियोगेन चैव हि
भक्तियोगेन चैव हि
धर्मेणोभयाचिन्नेन
धर्मेणो भययाचि धर्मेणो भयचिह्नेन
यः प्रवृत्तिनिवृत्तिमान्
यः प्रवृत्तिनिवृत्तिमान्
आत्मतत्त्वावबोधेन
आत्मतत्त्वावबोधेन
वैराग्येन दृढेन च
वैराग्येन दृढेन च
ईयते भगवान् येभिः
यते भगवान्नेभिः
सगुणो निर्गुणस्वदृक्
सगुणो निर्गुणस्वधुक्. By performing putative activity and sacrifice, by distributing charity, by performing austerity, by studying various literature, by conducting philosophical research, by controlling the mind, by subduing the senses, by accepting the renounced order of life, and by performing the prescribed duties of one's social order, by performing the different division of yoga practice, by performing devotional service, and by exhibiting the process of devotional service, containing the symptom of both attachment and detachment, by understanding the science of self-realization, and by developing a strong sense of detachment. One who is expert in understanding the different process of self-realization realize the supreme personality of Godhead as he is represented in the material world as well as in transcendence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So all the things that we may hear around us, people saying about all these things are different sadhanas to approach the Lord. But every sadhana will help us understand one aspect of the Lord, not completely. It is only bhakti will give us complete understanding of the Lord. So what are the different sadhanas? By kriya, pious activities, kratubi, sacrifices, dhana, charities, tapa, swadhyaya, marshana, by austerity, by study and discussion of the Vedas. Tapasya, swadhyaya and marshana, discussion with the students. By control of the senses and the mind, atma indriya jayena. Atma means mind, indriya means senses. By renunciation of all the duties, sannyasena cha karmanam, vanaprastha and sannyas order. By the practice of various angas of yoga, yogena vividha angena. It could be jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, nishkama karma yoga. There are various angas. Yama, niyama, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, sense control, mind control, analysis of the elements, all these things, so many things are there. By the addition of bhakti to all these process, while performing all these things, there should be some component of bhakti with them. Without the component of bhakti, all these things cannot attain their perfection. Tapasvino dana para yashasvino manasvino mantra vida sumangala క్షేమం న విందంతి వినాయ దర్పణం తస్మై సుభద్రా శ్రవసే నమో నమః. తపస్వి, మనస్వి, దానపర, యశస్వి. One may be all these different sadhakas, but if they don't perform all these sadhanas as an offering to Supreme Lord, that means with a bhakti element, kshemam na vinnanti, they will never ever get the expected results. The proper results of practicing all these things one will never get without offering all the sadhanas unto Supreme Lord. Offering something to Supreme Lord means bhakti. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Offering something to Lord is bhakti. So whatever we may do in this world, there should be some bhakti element in that. Without bhakti element in that, everything becomes Shramayevai Kevalam. Dharma Swanushrita Pumsha Vishwaksena Katasuya. Na Utpadayat Yatiratim. Whatever activity that we do in this world, if that activity is not bringing us close to Supreme Lord, Shramayevai Kevalam. It is simply a wasted labor. This is the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavatam. Whatever we do, it should be offered to Supreme Lord on one side, that is instruction. On the other side, whatever we do, if that activity is not bringing us close to the Lord, that activity is simply wasted endeavor. It is of no use to the self. From the material point of view, one might have got so much name, fame, this, that, wealth, and all these things. But from spiritual point of view, one has not made even 1% of spiritual progress. Then what is the use of doing all those things? The human life has been wasted in that way. Like that. So that's how we have to understand. So then, by the practice of Sakama Karma, Nishkama Karma, and other Varnashrama duties, which are for enjoyment and liberation, Pravritti Nivritti. People perform Sakama Karma duties for the purpose of enjoyment, and as we discussed, and then the people who are aspiring liberation, they practice Nishkama Karma Yoga followed by Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, all these things for attaining liberation, even those duties. And then, by understanding the nature of Atma, Atma Tattva Avabodhanena, the Sankhya Yogis, very analytically they try to understand what is matter, what is spirit. And by firm detachment, Vairagya Drudenacha, Druda Vairagya, some people are very firmly detached. The Lord is perceived as Swarga, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So all these processes, the Vedic processes, their destiny, they see the Lord in the form of, some see the Lord in the form of Swarga, some see the Lord in the form of Brahman, some see the Lord in the form of Paramatma, some see the Lord in the form of Bhagavan. But all these four are one personality only. There is one personality only, has multiple aspects, and some people are seeing him in one aspect. The Sakama Karmis see the Lord as Swarga. Going to Swarga means going to the Lord. And Jnana Yogis, they see Brahman. Going to Brahman means going to the Lord. Ashtanga Yoga, they see Paramatma. Going to Paramatma means going to the Lord. The devotee, they see Bhagavan. Going to the Bhagavan means going to the Lord. So like that. What the brahmacharis do? So all these sadhanas, whatever they are mentioned, all these are practiced by different people at different levels. So we can categorically, we can see who will do what. Brahmacharis will do Swadhyaya and Marshana. They study the scriptures and they discuss among the fellow students. That is the brahmacharis activities. And Grahas are supposed to perform pious activities, sacrifice and charity. Kriya, Kratu, Dana. These are the various activities that Grahas are supposed to do. That will help them come close to the Lord. Vanaprasthas, the Jnanis and Yashnanga Yogis, they are supposed to practice tapasya. Sannyasi, who are also again Jnanis and Yogis, they are supposed to keep their mind under control, sense under control, and renounce all worldly duties. A Vanaprastha and Sannyasi does not have any worldly duties. Atmendriyajenapi sannyasena cha karmanam yogena vividangena. They need to practice vividangas of the yoga. Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Like that in Jnana Yoga also there will be some stages. They need to do all those things. Then Bhakti Yogena cha. All these things one should do along with Bhakti Yoga. थोड़ा Bhakti Yoga भी रहना चाहिए उसके साथ. Bhakti Mishra duties, sacrifices and charities of the householders. Since without mixing those acts with Bhakti, they cannot give their desired results. The word Evahi, Bhakti Yogena Evahi. The word Evahi, where the Evahi word is coming? Bhakti Yogena Chaivahi. Cha means and Bhakti Yoga. Evahi means certainly without fail. The words Eva and He indicating the limitation and certainty, indicating that only by including Bhakti can the results definitely be accomplished. Cha Eva Hi. Only when they perform all these things along with Bhakti, they attain the expected results, otherwise not. Just as Bhagavan is the chief form of the Lord, Bhakti is the chief among all processes. Yes, Bhagavan is also Brahman, Bhagavan is also Paramatma, Bhagavan is also Swarga. Similarly, just like Bhagavan is there in everything, Bhakti is supposed to be there in every sadhana. So like that. Dharma Ubayena Chihnena by Sakama and Nishkama Dharma. Ubaya Dharma means two kinds of dharmas. Sakama Karma and Nishkama Dharma. People practice Dharma for the purpose of fulfilling their desires, and some people practice Dharma for the purpose of attaining liberation. These are two kinds of dharmas people follow. How do they see the Lord? They see the Lord as Saguna. Saguna, Nirguna, Satyakrit. Three words are used. What is the third word? Yaswadurk. Saguna means attainment of Swarga by duties, sacrifice and charity. The householders perform Kriya, Kartubir and Danena. They perform pious activities, sacrifices and charity. As the result of that, they go to Swarga. That is their Lord. For them, the Lord is Saguna. Saguna means the Lord is all the variety of objects of enjoyment, higher stand of enjoyment. But for others, the Vanaprastha, Sannyasis, Jnana Yogis, Ashtanga Yogis, and Nivruta Dharmis, for them, the Lord is Nirguna. Nirguna Brahman, Nirguna Paramatma. Brahman and Paramatma attained by Sannyasa and Yoga. And for the devotees, the Supreme Lord is Swadhark. The Lord who sees only his own pure devotees because of attachment. The Lord in whom there is complete realization of his own form attained by pure bhakti. Swadhark means the Lord who sees his devotees, or the Lord who is seen by his devotees completely is Swadhark. That is Bhagavan. Yate Bhagavan Yebi Saguno Nirguna Swadhark. So this is how, what are the different processes, who follow them, how they should follow with the mixture of bhakti, and what kind of destiny they get. All these destinies are also the different aspects of the Supreme Lord. That way, there is only one Lord, and there is only one process bhakti. There is only one Lord Bhagavan. There is only one process bhakti in everything. So like that. So that is how Lord Kapila summarized what he said till now in all these chapters starting from 25 to 32. He spoke everything and he summarized. He also touched upon some conclusive points. Now, at the end, in the last 4-5 verses, he says that who this knowledge should be given, who are qualified to receive this knowledge, who are not qualified to receive this knowledge, and whoever hears and follows this knowledge, what kind of falashruti they will get, what kind of destination they will get. These are the last 2 verses of this chapter. Having summarized Jnana Yoga and showing its dependence on Bhakti to Bhagavan, who is attained by Bhakti, by a suitable example, Lord Kapila showed Bhagavan to be the goal of all paths. Now, Lord Kapila summarizes Bhakti and other processes in 2 verses. 37-38, Lord is giving a quick summary of all the processes that we are following. Everything, all the processes that have been described till now, They are quickly summarized in these two processes. Then, who should be taught, who should not be taught, and what is the end result. So, like that. Any questions till now? All of you are able to follow? Hare Krishna, devotees.
Yes, sir. Follow.
Pravocam bhakti yogasya
Pravacham bhakti yogasya
swarupam te chaturvidham
Swarupam te chaturvidam
kalasya chavyakta
Alasya
yo antardhavati jantushu.
Yena dhavati jantusu. Translation. My dear mother, I have explained to you the process of devotional service and its identity in four different regions. I have explained to you as well how eternal time is chasing the living entities, although it is imperceptible to them. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I have explained to you the four types of bhakti. Bhakti in tamoguna, bhakti performed by the people in rajoguna, bhakti performed by the people in sattva, and bhakti performed by the people who are beyond the three modes. That is nirguna bhakti, and the form of time whose progress is invisible and which pursues all living beings. So in chapter 29, Lord Kapila spoke about four kinds of bhakti and also the characteristics of time. So this is a verse summary of the chapter 29. जीवस्य संस्मृतिर्भवे भवेर्
जीवस्य संस्कृतिर्बह्वीर्
अविद्या कर्म निर्मिता
अविद्या कर्म निर्मिताः
यास् अंगा प्रविशनात्मा
यास्अङ्गा प्रविशन् आत्मा
न वेदा गतिमात्मनः.
न वेदा गतिरात्मनः. There are varieties of material existence for the living entity according to the work he performs in ignorance or forgetfulness of his real identity. My dear mother, if anyone enters into that forgetfulness, he is unable to understand where his moments will end.
Because at the beginning of 29th chapter, Mother Devahuti asked three questions. Please speak about the different divisions of bhakti. Then please speak about the wanderings of time. Out of fear of which one becomes serious in practicing bhakti. Then please speak about the samskriti of the living entity, the samsara of the living entity. As a reason, by hearing that, one becomes determined in the practice of bhakti. So these were the three questions. And now Lord Kapila is telling that, Mother, you have asked three questions, I have summarized. I spoke about bhakti in four different divisions. Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic and Shuddha Sattvic, Nirguna Bhakti. I spoke about time also, and I have also spoken about samsara. Oh mother, there are numerous transmigrations of the jiva caused by actions in ignorance, passion, and goodness, entering into which the jiva does not understand his own destination. Especially those people under ignorance and in passion cannot understand the purpose of life, cannot understand where they are going. But only the people in the mode of goodness, they make endeavor to understand where they are going, what's happening to them. All these things I have spoken to you like that. Basically, in the previous chapters, whatever Lord Kapila told, he is giving a summary of that. Because this chapter talks about Sattva that is not touching. So in that way. Now, Lord Kapila shows those who are not qualified for the teachings of Lord Kapila. Who should not be spoken the teachings of Lord Kapila? Naitat kalayopadishain
Naita
Naita. Yes.
Kalayopadishen.
Na vinitaya karhi chet.
Na vinitaya karhichit.
Na stadhaya na binnaya.
Na stabdhaya na vinnaya.
Naiva dharma dvajaya cha.
Naiva dharma dvajaya cha. Lord Kapila continued, this instruction is not meant for the envious, for the agnostics, or for persons who are unclean in their behavior, nor is it for hypocrites or for persons who are proud of material possessions.
Yeah. One should not give these teachings to those with evil motives. Khalaya. Kala bhashini. Kala means who had evil motives. To those without behavior as students. Avi nitaya. Niti means we can say moral. Aviniti means immoral. Those who do not have the behavior of the students, those who don't have any inquisitiveness to understand, they should not be given. To those with who are proud, sabda. To those with different ideas, binnaya. And those who make a show of religion for the profit of and position. For those people for puja la pratishtha, they show of themselves to be like religious people, dharma dvajaya. Such kind of people will not take it seriously. So there is no point in teaching all these people. Not to kalaya, not to avinitaya, not to sabdaya, not to binnaya, not to dharma dvajaya. In that way. Some attempt to understand by false bhakti for evil purposes. Some people attempt to understand false bhakti for evil purposes, for fulfilling their evil purposes. Some are devoid of conduct as students, avinitaya. Some are proud, sabdaya. Some have different opinions, vinnaya. Some are fixed in dharma simply for material gain and fame, dharma dvajaya. All these people should not be taught about the teachings of bhakti or teachings
Hare
of Lord
Krishna
Kapila.
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
I have a doubt here. So, Prabhuji, right now we are doing Sankirtan, like our seniors have told us, distributing books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So we don't know whether the person who is accepting the book is an envious person or whatever.
Okay.
So he'll be reading it in future or he'll be giving it away to somebody else. So what is it? Your view on it, Prabhuji?
See, there are two aspects. When Lord Kapila is speaking something, one should not give these teachings to somebody means in detail, sitting with them and speaking everything in detail with elaborate explanations and all in that way. But when we are giving book, that book also contains everything, but we are not forcing them to take it. We are voluntarily giving. If they are interested, they will take it. And afterwards, whether they will read or not is up to them. So there is no forceful thing. Even if somebody with different purposes, if they take book, they need to give lot of time and they need to try to understand. They need to find fault and they need to spread the rumors and all. It is a long procedure. It will not take long. No one is having that much patience to do all these things. But when you speaking to somebody, there is a possibility that that person may become angry immediately. But not when you are giving book and when they read the book, if they get some, if they become angry, on whom they will show the anger. So in that way, there is a difference. But anyway, in the next verse, we'll understand. Even though Lord Kapila is saying that all these people should not be taught, but there could be some of the people might be innocent. The innocent can be taught. Unknowingly, they might be like this, but when they understand, they may change. These people have a opportunity to change themselves. But there is one person who is coming in the next verse. That person should never be taught. So if a person you come across that kind of person, better stray away from that person. But all these people can be given books, no issue. There is no issue.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Who is that one person who should not be given? Let us see.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah,
Prabhuji, the similar type of verse also comes in Bhagavad Gita 18 chapter. After giving knowledge and everything,
yes,
Dishna. Yeah.
yes,
So this is similar, and we should take it in that spirit. What you answered right now, that only.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
So all these people, there could be some innocent also among them. By reading, by hearing proper knowledge, they can change. But there is one person in the next verse. He will never change. That person should be avoided completely. So who is that person? Na lolupayopadiṣena
Nalolupayopadiṣena
na ghraruda chetasa
na graharudachetase
na bhaktaya cha me jato
na bhaktaya cha me jatu
namadbhakta dvishamapi.
namad bhaktadvishamapi. It is not to be instructed to persons who are too greedy and too attached to family life, not to persons who are non-devotees and
1240.
who are envious of the devotees of the personality of God.
One should not teach this knowledge to those who are extremely attached to the material enjoyment, lolupaya. To those attached to family affairs, gruharuda chetasa. Those who want to live in the family and attain better facilities in the family, etc. To those without devotion, abhakthaya. Even these people are also innocent. They can also be taught. Even Lord Kapila says generally they should not be taught. But if among them who are innocent can be taught. But never to those who hate the devotees. Na jatu mad bhakta dushamapi. Lord says, even if somebody envies me, he can be taught. But if somebody envies my devotees, they should never be taught. Lord does not tolerate that. This one person should be avoided in all respects. Some persons, though devoid of the previous faults, are strongly attached to material enjoyment. Others, though not overly involved in material enjoyment, are attached to the family members, the wives, sons, and wealth, etc. Though one may not have any of the above faults or other faults not mentioned in these two slokas, but one is disqualified from the teachings if one is not a devotee. And even if one is not a devotee, also can be taught. But still, more dangerous than that is out of error or intention, one may instruct such persons sometimes. Even all these people can be instructed sometimes unknowingly or because of inattention or something like that. But however, one should never teach those who hate the devotees. This indicates that other persons are secondary and the last person must completely be avoided. Yeah. Even though other people in generally they should not be taught, but sometimes the possibility, if they are open to hear, we can teach. But for a bhakta dveshi jana, no. Mad bhakta dvisham. Lord says no. This is Lord's take on. If the others cannot be taught, then what to speak of the person who hate the devotees? So like that. So these are the different people who cannot be taught. Who can be taught? On the opposite side. Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya
Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya
vinitaya nasuyave
vinitaya nasuyave
bhuteshu krita maitraya
bhuteshu pratamaitraya
sushrushabhirataya cha.
शुश्रूषाभिरताय च
बहिर्जाता विरागाय
बहिर्जाता विरागाय
शान्तचित्ताय दीयताम्
शान्तचित्ताय दीयताम्
निर्मत्सराय शुचये
निर्मत्सराय शुचये
यस्याहं प्रेयसां प्रिया
यस्याहं प्रेयसां प्रियः. Instruction should be given to the faithful devotees who is respectful to the spiritual master, non-envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities, and eager to render service with faith and sincerity. The instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken the spiritual supreme personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed and who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness.
One should teach the teachings of Lord Kapila to the devotees who are having faith, to those with proper conduct, to those without hatred for any other living entities, Anasuya way, to those who are friendly to all beings, Bhuteshu Kruta Maitaraya, to those who are eager to serve the elders and spiritual masters, Susrusha Abhirataya, to those who are detached from the external object, Bahir Jata Viragaya, to those with peaceful minds, Shanta Chittaya, to those who are unselfish, Nirmasaraya, who are not envious, to those who are pure, Suchaye, and to those for whom I am the most dear among all dear things. Yasya aham preyasam priya. Preyasam priya. I am the best among all dearmost things. To such people, my teaching should be taught always. So like that. Bahir Jata Viragaya means to those who are detached from the external objects. So something like that. So this is how who should not be taught the teachings of Lord Kapila, who should be taught the teachings of Lord Kapila. Lord Kapila himself is telling at the end. Final verse. Falashruti. What to speak of the good fortune for the performer of these actions? Hear about the good fortune that arises just from hearing and chanting about this topic. So for those who practice, they have gone to Vaikuntha. They will go to Vaikuntha, as Lord Kapila told in the 25th chapter and other chapters. What destiny they will attain if somebody follows. And finally, Lord says that okay, that is fine. Then what about those who simply hear and speak about it? What they will attain? Yaidam Shunu Yadamba
Ya idam
Idam
shruya
Shraddaya Purusha Sakrat
shraddaya purusha sakrit
Yo Vabidatte Machitta
yo va bidatte machitta
Sahiyeti Padavim Chame.
sahi yeti padavim cha me. Anyone who once meditates upon me with faith and affection, who hears and chants about me, surely go back home, back to Godhead.
Oh mother, that person who hears this topic once, but how? With complete faith. Her who utters this topic with complete faith. How? Concentrating his mind on me. Machitta. Certainly attains the place where my feet rest. All that means those hear attentively, those who speak attentively, they are expected to follow also. When somebody hears, speaks, and follows with complete concentration on the Supreme Lord, they will definitely attain the abode of the Supreme Lord. Fixing one's mind on me, one attains the place where my feet rest. That is Vaikuntha. One attains Vaikuntha. Wherever my feet are staying, wherever I am staying, there is a place one attains by hearing, speaking, and following. This is teachings of Lord Kapila. Hare Krishna. Chapter 32 is over. So before entering chapter 33, which is the last chapter of the third canto, any questions till now? Hare Krishna. Devotees, any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
No
No,
questions.
Prabhuji.
Is everything you are able to follow or nothing is being followed?
Yes, Guruji, following.
This chapter was little technical compared to other chapters. Yeah, yes, Mataji.
It's heavy. Heavy to understand. I mean, to get into the system and to remember.
Sorry to say that it will be heavy, but that's what that is the activity of the people in the mode of goodness. People in the mode of goodness take pleasure in trying to analyze and understand the heavy topics. If everything is simple, then what is the use of being in Satoguna? So, yeah, it is obviously heavy. Vedanta means heavy only. Vedanta is heavy. That's why anyone and everyone cannot make an attempt to understand. Those who are making an attempt to understand that matlab, they are very special. They are really daring people. Even they also start saying heavy means, then where is the hope? So don't feel like that. By little bit more careful study, little bit more homework, things become understandable. Not that everything is heavy, but that's how. That's why we have so many philosophies in India all over, and so many acharyas are talking about so many things. Otherwise, if everything is simple, black and white, then what is the need of all these commentaries, all these discourses, all these things? It should be heavy only. Then only there will be some churning.
Yes,
There is
Prabhuji.
some. Then there will be some activity for us. Otherwise, we will not have any activity only. Nothing we can do.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. A small
Ah,
doubt.
Mataji. Ah.
Prabhuji, in Bhagavad Gita 18.67, the Lord tells that those who are envious to me, you should not preach to them. And here in the verse number 40, he is telling that those who are envious to the devotees.
So your Lord is taking one step ahead. Even if somebody envious to me, still you teach. But if somebody envious to my devotees, never teach. So Lord has become little bit more magnanimous, we can say. But in any case, those who envy the Lord, they will also envy the devotees. Those who envy the devotees, they will also envy the Lord. So both are interdependent. It is not that both are separate. We will not have somebody who is envying the Lord and doesn't love the devotees. Not like that. If somebody envying the Lord, they also envy the devotees also. Both are both happen simultaneously.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Somebody
Thank
may
you,
not
sir.
say that I like Krishna, but I don't like Krishna's devotees. So no one can say like that. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Now, Mother Devahuti heard what she is supposed to do. The last chapter will talk about by practicing the teaching spoken by Lord Kapila, what kind of destiny Mother Devahuti attained. A case study is given so that Bhagavatam is establishing that Mother Devahuti attained Vaikuntha by practicing the teachings of Lord Kapila. Even if you practice the teachings of Lord Kapila, you will also attain Vaikuntha. That is what Bhagavatam is trying to tell us from this chapter. In the last chapter, after being praised by Mother Devahuti, Lord Kapila departs for the forest. Then Mother Devahuti practices whatever Lord Kapila told, and then eventually she attains that Vaikuntha in which Lord Kapila is there eternally. So like that. This is the conclusion of this entire section. Now in the first 8 verses, there are prayers offered by Mother Devahuti out of gratitude to her son and the Supreme Lord. Then from chapter text number 9 to end of the chapter, we see what did Lord Kapila do afterwards, what did Mother Devahuti do afterwards, after these teachings. So that they are there. Those things we will discuss next week, and today we'll try to discuss the prayers all the way up to text number 8. We'll see how many prayers we can cover. We are discussing the prayers today, and next Sunday we will complete the remaining chapter. Krishna. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
एवं निशम्य कपिलस्य वचो जनित्री
एवं निशम्य कपिलस्य वचो जनित्री
साकर्दमस्य दयिता किल देवहूति
साकर्दमस्य दयित किल देवहूतिः
विसृष्टमोहपटला तमविप्रणम्य
विस्रस्तमोहपटला तम् अभिप्रणम्य
तुष्टावतत्त्वविषयाङ्कितसिद्धिभूमिम्
तुष्टावतत्त्वविषयाङ्कितसिद्धिभूमिम्. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, thus Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila and wife of Kardama Muni, became freed from all ignorance concerning devotional service and transcendental knowledge. She offered her obeisances unto the Lord, the author of the basic principles of the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is the background of liberation, and she satisfied him with the following verses of prayer.
Maitreya is saying that Devahuti, the wife of Kardama, hearing the words of Lord Kapila, became free of ignorance concerning Bhakti, Jnana, Ashtanga Yoga. That means she understood everything crystal clearly. What is Karma Yoga? What is Jnana Yoga? What is Ashtanga Yoga? What is Bhakti Yoga? She has no doubts concerning all these processes. Then she offered respects to and satisfied Lord Kapila, the compiler of knowledge concerning Bhakti, Jnana and Yoga, Tattva, Vishayankita, and the giver of perfection to men on this earth, Siddhubhimum. Lord Kapila is the giver of liberation. Lord Kapila is the compiler of Sankhya Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Lord Kapila is the teacher of the Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. And to that Lord, Mother Devahuti offered obeisances and offered prayers in order to please the Lord. Hearing the words of Lord Kapila, Devahuti became free of all ignorance concerning Bhakti and Jnana. Lord Kapila gave indications with great skill concerning Bhakti, Jnana and Yoga and caused men on earth to reach perfection. So there is a hint given here is, it is not astonishing that you teach me and deliver me from samsara. Mother Devahuti is telling to Kapila. Without telling, she is indicating that. She is hinting at it. It is not at all astonishing that you teach me and deliver me from the samsara. However, what is most astonishing is that you, the Supreme Lord of unlimited universes, you are the Lord of the Creator, you are the Lord of the entire universe, all the unlimited universes, took birth from me, who is a low human being. This is the mood of Mother Devahuti. Mother Devahuti expressing her gratitude to Lord Kapila, saying that, my dear Lord, I am an ordinary woman. You delivering me is nothing. But what is surprising is, you are the Lord of the entire material and spiritual universes. In spite of that, you took birth from my womb. That is most astonishing. Keeping that in mind, she begins to speak, introducing the subject with the word Ata. Then, so out of great wonder, out of great surprise, out of great gratitude, she is saying that, my dear Lord, you speaking the Sankhya Yoga, this yoga, that is okay. You delivering me, that is okay. You delivering the people of this world, that is also okay. Everything is okay. But you becoming my son is not okay. It's your causeless mercy upon me, for which I cannot express my gratitude to you. Saying like that, she is praying now. Devahutir uvacha
Devahutir
अताप्यजोऽनन्तसलिलेशयानम्
अथापि अजोनन्तसलिले सयानं
भूतेन्द्रियार्थात्ममयं वपुस्ते
भूतेन्द्रियार्थमयं वपुस्ते
गुणप्रवाहं सदशेषबीजम्
गुणप्रवाहं सदशेषबीजं
दद्यौ स्वयं यज्जठराब्जजातः
दद्यौ स्वयं यज्जठराब्जजातः. Devahuti said, Brahma is said to be unborn because he takes birth from the lotus flower, which grows from your abdomen while you lie in the ocean at the bottom of the universe. But even Brahma simply meditated upon you, whose body is the source of unlimited universes.
So Mother Devahuti is saying that even Brahma, born from the lotus from your navel, could only meditate upon your form lying in the ocean, which is composed of spiritual elements, spiritual sense objects, and spiritual senses, which is endowed with all good qualities, and which is the source of unlimited real universes. Tad Ashesha Bijam. So here, Mother Devahuti is telling that, see, from your form as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, there appeared a lotus. From that lotus, there appeared Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That Garbhodakshaya Vishnu can only meditate on your form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu or Karanodakshaya Vishnu. You cannot do anything more than that. But Mother Devahuti is saying that, my dear Lord, it is you who give the life to Brahma, who has created all of us, appeared from my womb. Brahma, seated in the Satyaloka, can meditate upon you. But you have entered into my womb. You are there in my courtyard, in my home. You are performing all the childhood pastimes in my home. You are completely dependent upon me. Is that not astonishing? Like that, Mother Devahuti is telling. Rarity of understanding the nature of the Lord. Even Lord Brahma do not know. Lord Brahma could only meditate upon your form as Garbhodakshai, lying in the waters within the universe. He did not see you at first. In the third canto, we saw that when Brahma appeared on top of the lotus, he searched up and down, going through the stem of the lotus for 100 years. He could not see the Lord. Then he performed tapasya for 1000 years. Then he saw the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu at most. He did not see you at first. Your elements, senses, and sense objects are all made up of your own Chit Shakti, Yogamaya. That means your body is knowledge and bliss, is not material. Your form is Sachidananda Swarupa. It is made up of Chit Shakti. It is not material. You distinctly manifest qualities such as affection for your devotees. You are the cause of all universes. Though you are the source of all the universes, and though you are the source of all the Brahmas, Indras, Chandras, Varunas, Vayus, Shivas, but you have become the good fortune of me that I have become your mother. Is that not astonishing? So, like that, Mother Devahuti on one side glorifying the Lord, on the other side, she is also talking about her own fortunate position. So, like that. Then she further says, Sa eva vishwasya bhavan vidatte
स
स्वदेव
एव विश्वस्य भवान् विधत्ते
गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्यः
गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्यः
सर्गादनीहो वितताभिसन्धिर्
सर्गाजनीहो वितताभिसन्धिर्
आत्मेश्वरो तर्क्यसहस्रसाक्षिः
आत्मेश्वरोतर्क्यसहस्रसाक्षि शक्तिः. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature. And for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation take place. My dear Lord, you are self-determined and are the Supreme Personal Godhead for all living entities. For them, you created this material manifestation. And although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us.
You distribute your powers of creation, maintenance, and destruction by dividing them up according to the gunas. You give creation to Brahma, maintenance to Vishnu, destruction to Shiva. You are creation, you are maintenance, and you are destruction. Because you are empowering them, and by that empowerment they are able to do, it is you only. You are without material activities, Aneha. Your desires are never unfulfilled. Okay? You are the Lord of all the Jivas, Atma Ishvaraha. You are the possessor of unlimited inconceivable energies. Atarkya Sahasra Shaktihi. And then, in this way, you carry out your activities. You have unlimited energies. Through those energies, you perform all activities. You don't have to do personally. You are the same Lord from whose body the universe is emanated. You are the same Lord who empower the Gunavataras to create, maintain, and destroy. And your desires are never unfulfilled. They are always done. You give out your powers of creation, maintenance, and destruction by divisions of gunas, and your desires are never obstructed. These are the different attributes and different pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So, like that. Basically, the Lord's greatness is indicated in these prayers. So, Lord, my dear Lord, you are not 100% like you and me, like all of us. You are something different. Who you are all these things. So, in that way. Then what? Sattvam mruto me jatarena nata
Sattvam mruto me jatareena natha
katam nu yasyodara etadasit
katam nu yashodara etadasi
vishvam yugante vatapatra ekaha
vishwam yugante vatapatra ekah
sete smamaya shishurangripanah
sete smamaya sisurangripanah. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have taken birth from my abdomen. O my Lord, how is that possible for the Supreme One who has in his belly all the cosmic manifestation? The answer is that it is possible, for at the end of the millennium, you lie down on a leaf of the banyan tree, and just like a small baby, you lick the toe of your lotus feet.
O Lord, how were you in whose belly the universe rests? Yasya udara etad vishwam asid. Oh, my dear Lord, you are not only the creator of this universe, you are not only the empowerer of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, but you are also that person in whose belly all the universe are situated. And that Lord who keeps the entire universe within his abdomen, can stay in my abdomen, held in my womb. And then, as a merciful baby, you lie alone on a banyan leaf, sucking your toe at the end of the yuga. Yugante means after Pralaya, when the Bhuloka, Burloka, Sargaloka are inundated by water, they are submerged into the ocean. There is nothing, only water everywhere. In that water, only you are there, floating on a banyan leaf like a small child. Markandeya Muni saw this. We heard from Markandeya Rishi. Yet during the time of Pralaya, Markandeya Rishi saw you being situated as a Vatapatrashai on the banyan tree leaf. We can see this Vatapatrashai deity in Jagannath Puri temple. And see, there are two things. First of all, Lord is so big that the entire universe is situated in his abdomen. And at the time of Pralaya, the entire universe enter in him, but he is there in the ocean, floating on the banyan tree leaf. But that Lord entered into my womb, stayed there in my womb. That she is expressing astonishingly. How could you be held in my womb, in the womb of a person like me, a human being? You alone should explain the astonishing cause. How can you say this to me? I am your child. Oh, my dear mother, how can you say this to me? I am your son. You don't say all these things. True, you are a child. As a baby, you sleep on a banyan leaf at the time of destruction of the universe. But for what purpose you stay there? So then Lord Kapila, the small kid, Vatapatrasha is saying that people of this world who are accustomed to caring for children can meditate on me. People of this world, they love the children so much. So, in order to direct their love from their children to me, I appear sometimes as a small child so that they can show their love for me also, just the way they are showing their love for their children. If they show their love for me, they will attain perfection. That's why I appear as a small Vatapatrashai. Thus, that form of a baby is merciful. Show mercy to one and all. All intelligent men will give up other happiness and become submerged in the sweetness of my feet. We say now always, we want to take shelter at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. We want to serve the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. We want to stay at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. All the devotees are having this aspiration only. So Lord is thinking that what is there in my lotus feet? Why people want to stay at my lotus feet? So Lord wanted to experience the taste of his lotus feet. Desiring to experience the taste, the baby sucks his own toe. The Lord is sucking his own toe to understand, to experience what kind of happiness they are deriving by stating at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That's why we see Vatapatrashai sucking his so like that. Here is that Vatapatrashai which is seen, who is seen by Markandeya Rishi at the time of Pralaya. Hare Krishna, you are able to follow till now? Any questions? Okay. Then Mother Devahuti continues. Tvam deha tantra prashamaya papmanam
Tam deha tantra prasamaya papamanam
nidesha bhajam cha vibho vibhutaye
desavajam cha vivo vibhutaye
yatavatara sukaradayas
yata avataras tava sukaradayas
labdaye.
tathayam api atma patopalabdhaye. Translation, my dear Lord, you have assumed this body in order to diminish the sinful activities of the fallen and to enrich their knowledge in devotion and liberation. Since these sinful people are dependent on your direction, by your own will you assume incarnations as a boar and as other forms. Similarly, you have appeared in order to distribute transcendental knowledge to your dependents. Hare Krishna.
Here, Mother Devahuti is talking about why Lord would appear in different forms. Oh Lord, you become dependent on my body as a baby. Just as, because when child is born, mother has to take care of the baby while in the womb and after the child comes out of the womb also in all respects. Just as you appear in this world in forms like the boar to destroy sin and to make those who follow your instructions prosperous by taking them to spiritual world. You have appeared to teach the path of jnana and bhakti directed to yourself. So what is the purpose of Lord Kapila's appearance in my womb? This is the purpose. You appear in various avatars to destroy the sin of the people and to make them who follow your teachings prosperous. Same way, now you appeared as Kapila to teach jnana and bhakti yoga. So like that. Why Lord appeared? To destroy sin, to make your followers prosperous, and to teach the path of jnana and bhakti. Moreover, your nature is that by mercy alone you descend as avatara. Just as other babies are in the womb of the mother and are dependent on the body of the mother, you also entered my womb and were dependent on my body as your pastime. Dehadantara can also mean he who is decorated with the cloth and ornaments on his body. The Lord appears with full decoration in that way. For what purpose do the avatars descend? They appear for destroying the sins and for making prosperous with bhakti, jnana, and yoga those who follow your instructions. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkutam. To destroy the sinful people and to make the pious people prosperous, Lord makes his appearance again and again. Lord Kapila appeared to teach the path of jnana, Nishkama Karma Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga, and finally Bhakti Yoga directed to himself. The purpose of other avatara, general purpose of other avatars, and the specific purpose of Lord Kapila's avatara. So in that way, Mother Devahuti, she indicated two things. Lord in general appears to destroy the sinful people to make prosperous the followers. And Lord also appears specifically to teach the path of bhakti, the path of jnana yoga. And now, so what? By practicing bhakti, what will happen to me? By practicing jnana, what will happen to me? What is the end result of practicing bhakti and jnana and other processes? And especially where does the bhakti stand in relation to other sadhanas? That Mother Devahuti will talk about in the next two verses. In the next two verses, Mother Devahuti glorifies the bhakti, the simplicity of bhakti. How bhakti takes the most insignificant person to the topmost position. That is indicated in the next two verses, which is the special purpose of Lord's appearance, to teach bhakti to one and all. Yannamadheya Shravananukirtanad
Yannamadheya Shravananukirtanat
Yapravanadya Smaranadapi Kvachit
Yat Prahvanadyat Smaranadapi Kvachit
Svadopi Sadhya Savanaya Kalpate
Svadopi Satyah Shravanaya Kalpate
Kuta Punaste Bhagavan Darshana.
Kuta Punaste Bhagavanu Darshanat. To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. If he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of God, or chant about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him.
The simplicity of bhakti is glorified by Mother Devahuti in these two verses. By hearing or by chanting your name, Nama Deya Shravana Anukirtanat. Okay, either by Shravan or by Anukirtan. And even Deya is there. By Smaran also we can include. Okay, Smaran, Shravan, Kirtan. And then Yat Pravanad, by offering respects to you. Okay, Vandanam. By occasional remembrance of you. Yes, Maranad api kvachit. Even Smaranam comes again. Even the dog eater, Swada api. Even the dog eater immediately becomes qualified for performing Soma sacrifice. Sadhya Savanaya Kalpate. Even a person born in dog eater's family, if they hears or chants, offers obeisances, or meditates on you, even once, Sakrat. O Lord, what then to speak of the person who sees you? Kutapunan ste nudarshanat. What kind of destiny one would get if those who see? Because Mother Devahuti herself putting in that condition telling, my dear Lord, even personally like Brahma can only meditate on you. And I am able to see you every day. And what to speak of Brahma and all, even an ordinary person born in dog eater's family, if he hears your holy name, if he chants your holy name, if he occasionally remembers you, if he offers obeisances unto you, they attain the qualification equal to that of a Brahmana who performs yajna. Then what to speak of if somebody sees you like me? What kind of destiny they would get? Like that. By seeing you, the world becomes most fortunate. This is expressed to the method of Kaumatika Nyaya. Then what to speak of other things? Even a Chandala who chants the name, hears it, remember the Lord, or offers obeisances, immediately becomes qualified to perform sacrifices. A twice-born Brahmana is on par with a twice-born Brahmana. By seeing you, the world becomes most fortunate. Then what to speak of by offering obeisances to you, or by occasional remembrance of your pastimes. Even the outcast becomes immediately qualified to perform the Soma sacrifice. This means he becomes worshipable like Brahmana, performer of the Soma sacrifice. So basically, even the outcast becomes immediately qualified to perform the Soma sacrifice. This means he becomes worshipable like the performer of Soma sacrifice. Just like a Brahmana who is qualified to perform a Soma sacrifice is respected, even a person born in dog eater's family would receive the same respect. That's how he will be elevated when he practices bhakti. This implies that this takes place because of the distinction of prarabdha, sinful reactions, experienced in this life as a low birth, are destroyed completely. Even though, like for example, we have spoken about this also in the past in our classes. So within the Vaishnava community, once a person becomes devotee, he will be addressed as Prabhuji by everyone. Either Mataji to Mataji, Prabhuji to Prabhuji. They will never be addressed based on their past life, based on their previous life. They may be coming from any background, but once a big person becomes devotee, he is a devotee. He is offered obeisances by offering dandavat, he offered pranams, he will be addressed as Prabhuji, and he will be respected in all regards. This person will be respected with the same respect that is given to a Brahmana who is qualified to perform Soma Yajna or any Yajna. That is the understanding. That means, but only a Brahmana born person can become qualified to perform Soma Yajna. Anyone cannot become in the regular Varnashram duties. But from the Bhakti point of view, Even a person born in very low family, also by becoming a great devotee, he will get respect on par with the Somayajna Brahmana performer. That is the glory of bhakti. The same thing Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasam Sindhu. He says that it was understood that the low qualities of the dog eater is the cause of his disqualification for performing sacrifices. If a person born in low family, they are not qualified to perform the yajna. That is fine. That is because of the varnashram dharma. That is fine. But the sin by which he attains such a low qualities in this life is called the prarabdha. And that prarabdha is destroyed if one becomes devotee. If one becomes devotee by chanting Lord's holy name, by hearing Lord's holy name, by meditating upon, contemplating upon Lord's holy name, and by remembering Lord's holy name, they would become on par with twice born Brahmana, Yajna performer Brahmana. That is the glory of. So that was the first verse. What happens if one does Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanidam like that? The nine Navada with the Bhakti, if one practices, what happens? Even a lowly person will become as respectable as highly person. Then what? Okay, that is fine. Oh, we'll accept, we understand. But then what? Aho batasva pachato gariyan.
Aho batas स्वपचोतगरीयान्
यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यम्
यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यम्
ते पुस्तपस्ते जुजुः शश्नुरार्या
ते पुस्तपस्ते जुहुः सुस्नुर्आर्य
ब्रह्मानुचोर्नाम गृह्णन्ति एते
ब्रह्मानुचूर्णाम गृह्णन्ति एते. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy names. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required.
Somebody may ask a question, hey, how can you say that? How can this person, just by chanting Lord's holy name, becomes as respectable as a twice-born Brahmana who is expert at Vedas and chanting the mantras and who traveled all the holy places to perform so many vratas, so many austerities, and now ultimately has become the performer of Soma Yajna. He has become the Rutvija. That is not ordinary position. How can you give the topmost position to a person born in dog eater's family just by chanting the Lord's holy name? Then Mother Devahutis is telling, don't worry, because of some karma, now with this life he has taken birth in dog eater's family, but in this past life he has done all these things. Whatever qualification required for a person to become the twice born Brahmana with ultimate qualification to be able to perform yajna with the knowledge of all the Vedic mantras and all these things, he has done all these things in the previous life only. Those people who have done all these things in the previous lives only can chant Lord's holy name in this life. This life, one is chanting Lord's holy name, means they have done all those things. They don't have to do once again. That's why they are qualified, they are eligible to receive the same respect that is given to a Rutvija, Brahmana who is performing Soma Yajna, etc. So in that way, Mother Devahuti is telling, how astonishing! The outcast on the tip of whose tongue your name appears becomes the Guru, become the topmost, even better than the Somayajna performer. All those who chant your name, becoming most respectable, have completed all austerities, all sacrifices, all bathing, and all study of the Vedas. So like that. This is the conclusion of Mother Devahuti. This is the essence of what she understood from the teachings of Lord Kapila. But he never purified himself through austerity, scriptural study, or by taking holy baths. Somebody may ask this question. Answer is, your holy name bestows all those benefits to that Chandala. Apparently, one may be Chandala, but your holy name will give all the results. But actually, the truth is, he has done all these things in the past life only. You don't have to do again. No, not required. So like that. It has just been said that the outcast becomes immediately qualified for the Soma sacrifice, but that is nothing, since much more is achieved than becoming qualified for sacrifice. This is most astonishing. Ho bata. The name has to appear just on the tip of the tongue of the outcast. It does not have to be fully on the tongue. It does not have to be pronounced fully. Krishna. Kru should come on the tip of the tongue, not in the center of the tongue, not even the full name. It is present on the tongue, but not completely. Only one name is chanted once, not many times. Krishna. One time is enough. If one were to chant many of your names many times with the full tongue, how much more effect it would have? He chants to please you or bring you under control. See, even your holy name partly comes on the tip of the tongue will award this position. Then what to speak of somebody who chants your holy name completely at least once, many times, many names, many times? And if one chants your name just to please you, not for getting anything in return, what kind of benefit he will get? That outcast who chants incompletely just one name is the best guru. He becomes qualified to teach the mantra with the name within it to others. So whatever mantra he is chanting, he can become guru and teach that mantra to others. That is what he gains. Then let the outcast perform the sacrifice, study of the Vedas and austerities. Somebody may say that, oh, if that is the case, let the outcast only study the Vedas, let it teach the Vedas, let it perform the yajnas. So what is the need of UV Brahmanas going through all these things? Then Mother Devahuti says that they have done all those things. They have done the Veda study, they have taught Vedas, they have performed yajnas in the previous lives. What to speak of one such person? Even others also who chant your name have performed all austerities and all sacrifices in their previous lives. They have completed all austerities with all elements. They have performed oblations in all sacrifices with all elements. They have bathed in all holy places. They don't have to do once again. They and not others are worthy of the respect. Only they are real worthy recipients of respect. They have completed study of the Vedas. The other words are in the past tense, whereas Grananti is in the present tense. They chant in the present. They chant the Lord's holy name in the present, but have completed all other actions such as austerities, charities, Vedic study, etc., in the past lives. These other actions are no longer performed. They are now need to performed again in this life and will not be performed in the future. This is Mother Devahuti's conclusion. Somebody who is practicing bhakti by chanting Lord's holy name means they have done all other things in the past lives. The same thing is also mentioned in the 5th canto, 1st chapter, text number 35 in relation to Privrat Maharaj. There it is said that such power is not surprising from persons who have conquered the 6 senses by the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord. Since even an outcast becomes immediately free of bondage of karma by chanting the Lord's holy name once. If outcast can become free from the prarabdha karmas by chanting Lord's holy name once, then what to speak of a devotee who completely surrendered to the Lord? Can you do anything? Because Prabhupada Maharaj did something wonderful. When we come to 5th canto, we'll know what is that. So how he can do that? Yes, he can do. Because he's a perfect devotee. He can do. Even an ordinary person just by chanting Lord's holy name once can become as qualified as Savanaya Kalpate, Ritvija Brahmana. Then what to speak of somebody who is practicing bhakti continuously? they can attain, they can become the topmost, like that. So these two verses are the conclusive essence. Of course, all the praises given by Mother Devahuti are the conclusive essence of Bhakti Shastras. They are glorifying the potency of Bhakti and potency of Bhagavan. In that way. Sorry, late ho gaya. Just 2 minutes. This last verse will just complete. Somebody please repeat immediately. Tam tvamaham brahma param pumamsham.
Tvamaham brahma param pumamsam.
प्रत्यक्षरोतसि आत्मनि संविभाव्यम्
प्रत्यक्षास्त्रोतस्यात्मनि संविभाव्यम्
स्वतेजसाध्वस्तगुणप्रवाहम्
स्वतेजसाद्वष्टगुणस्वप्रवाहम्
वन्दे विष्णुं कपिलं वेदगर्भम्
वन्दे विष्णुं कपिलं वेदगर्भम्.
Okay, I will read. So
be-
finally, wait. Finally, Devahuti is saying that, my dear Lord, you are unlimited. I don't have capacity to glorify you unlimitedly. But what I can do ultimately, offer obeisance unto you. That's what I can do. I offer respects to you, my dear Lord Kapila, who are Vishnu, who are Brahma, who is the supreme person, who is the destroyer of the material existence by your appearance in this world. Swatejasa dvasta kuna pravaham. Okay? Then you are the shelter of the Vedas, Veda Garbham. Who should be the object of who else should be the object of meditation for the mind which has withdrawn from the material objects, Pratyakshnoti. For those people who are determined to go back to Godhead, other than you, on whom they should meditate, because you are the most qualified person, you have all these attributes in that way. I offer my obeisances to you who are Brahman, who are Supreme Person, Bhagavan, who are object of meditation of the purified mind, who are the destroyer of the influence of three modes. You are Lord Vishnu, and you are the repository of the Vedas, Veda Garbha. I, being ignorant, cannot really praise you. I simply offer respects. Pratyaksh Rodati means for the mind which has withdrawn from the material objects. Ultimately, Mother Devahuti is saying that, my dear Lord, you are unlimited. I cannot talk about all your unlimited qualities. What I can do is ultimately offer my obeisances to you by chanting your names. Hare Krishna. So these are the prayers of Mother Devahuti. The prayers are nothing but the conclusive essential points of the teachings of Lord Kapila. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Thank you for joining for today's class. So any questions? Quickly, one or two. If you have, otherwise we'll stop. Hare Krishna. I think late ho gaya, so no questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Somebody
Krishna.
say something.
It's okay, Prabhuji. It's very nicely explained. No question from my side.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we'll stop here for today. The next week we'll complete